Start game now. Welcome, retro fans, to another edition of the No Swear Gamer. Today we're going to do part 2 of the Retroist Retro Junk Box. If you haven't seen part 1, you should check it out. It's episode 56 of my show. The Retro Junk Box is a junk box that's passed around from person to person with like-minded interests. What you do is you fill it up with a bunch of retro-related items you no longer want. You give it to somebody, they take out what they want and put in other stuff, and it keeps going around in a great big old circle. So it's just full of retro fun. Today I'm going to show you both what I left behind in the Retro Junk Box and what I put in. The previous episode already showed you what I took out. The first thing that I saw in the Retro Junk Box when I opened it was this really cool Centipede poster. It has an Atari logo on it. I believe this poster is actually pretty recent. I think it came with one of the Atari flashback units, probably the flashback 4, I believe, maybe the 3, I'm not sure. But there it is, a nice large size poster that's folded out. Okay, what else did I leave behind? How about the pocket adder, a little thing that people used to take to the grocery store. It was like a little mini calculator. Really cool. It could add up to $99.99. My wife laughed at that amount because anyone who goes shopping for groceries knows that $99 probably won't feed a family of 4 or 5. So yeah, very cool though to see. Cost a whopping $1.29. And man, are you happy if you have a bag of groceries and this little pocket adder? Kind of neat. Another thing that I passed on was these very bizarre seafood Betty Crocker reusable toothpicks. Cost a whopping 79 cents. 10 of them for 79 cents. So very interesting. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, have a group of cards here that I bagged up temporarily so they wouldn't go all over the place. First we got a little lion thing and a bunch of Star Trek cards. And some Mad, I guess they're stickers or something like that. Yeah, collector stickers. How about a retro coupon for Joy? Save 5 cents. Very interesting to see an old coupon. Goonies. Got some Gremlin cards in here. More Mad. More Star Trek. So there you go. And some more passes. I already took 2, but I wasn't greedy. I left some more in there. So just some cards. Some magazines. How about a Shadow collection? It looks like it was from the Shadow magazine or something. It has some stories from the famous radio play, and it looks like even a script from one of the radio shows, I believe. Sorry, AT-AT Commander felt a little insecure after I picked up Dr. Doom and Kevin of Loxley last time, so I told him he could hang out this time. Another comic book that I passed on, Starbrand, whatever, never heard of it. I like old comic books, but I have enough, so hey look, Gumby and Pokey. So there you go. Now that's 90s right there. Those are some cool dudes on their bicycle eating their Jolly Rancher watermelon candies. Actually, I think it's 80s, but you know. And Halloween just passed, but there was a Halloween drawing book in there that you could draw various Halloween stuff. A Conan Saga Marvel magazine, not a comic book, slightly larger, all black and white. Not a big Conan fan, so I passed. Another poster here. It's from, was it from a Dynamite magazine? Has a kid and it says, "I want you to clean up my room." So it reminded me of kind of the innocence of being a kid in the 80s. I don't think posters nowadays that a lot of kids have would be nearly as innocent. And this is like a game, I think, like a D&D style game where it has a storybook and sets you up. Not really familiar with it. Not something that I was really interested, but still kind of interesting. Some neat artwork. Got a old bag for a Happy Meal Power Rangers toy. I actually think I worked at McDonald's when this Happy Meal sold. I'm not sure. I did work at McDonald's for a time. This is based on the movie. There's Ivan Ooze. I actually think the Power Ranger movie, the first one, wasn't too bad. Got some photos. We got one of the Highlander movie and Dr. Phoebes Rise Again. Not familiar with Dr. Phoebes or Fibs or whatever, but digged Vincent Price, but didn't really need any photos. Put some stuff in here. This is a 2-in-1. I combined them. This is a Whitman Tiny Shopping Center. It's a little pop-out book. And inside, I also put a little paper dowel that someone put in with clothing that you can add in. They're not together, but for shipping purposes, I'm going to keep them together. So as you can see, there was a ton of stuff in this box, including a Puff the Magic, or a Pete's Dragon. So that, yeah, they did the Puff song, didn't they? So a sticker. This was interesting. This is Sinister Cinema, who's still around today, a VHS tape of Plan 9 from Outer Space. And what I think they did was they would take public domain movies and they would just transfer them onto I'm guessing a higher quality VHS tape. And now they do DVDs. They're still around. So how interesting is that? Here's one, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom picture storybook. Has lots of pictures. So if you were a kid in the 80s and you weren't able to go to the theater, this was the next best thing, basically. So kind of neat. Lots of stuff in the box. This is something where if I had it on DVD, I'd probably try it out. Looks like my cup of tea, but I don't really have a VCR I use much. Attack of the Super Monsters, which looks very cheesy. Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of looks like a combination of anime and live action. So that would be interesting to watch. But again, I really don't have much use for any kind of tapes anymore, including cassette tapes like Elvis's Christmas album on cassette. What else do we got? Another cassette. How about Huey Lewis and the News? 4. Is that about golf? I guess so. I don't know. Not a big Huey guy. I like Huey doing Louie. You know, how about some DuckTales? How about some packages of cards that are unopened for VR Troopers, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Pocahontas? You know, maybe it's just me, but when Disney put out these two movies, it kind of started, not that they were bad, but it was like a downward trend. You know, they were really hot with like Aladdin, The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. And then after that, it just started to go downhill. They kind of lost the magic. Here's a wrestling figure that I didn't recognize when I saw some pictures earlier of the Retro Junk Box, but someone said it's Charlie Haas. So if you look like a generic wrestler guy that looks almost like a dollar store guy, it's probably not a good thing. And that's probably why everyone passed on Mr. Haas. Sorry, Charlie. Maybe someone will like you. See that, Commander? I didn't pick you over everybody. Hey, if it's the 80s, you need some big old monstrous shoelaces. This is really cool. William Culver, the ColecoVisions podcast, I made these to give out at the Classic Gaming Expo. These are Game by Game Podcast 2600 Game by Game Podcast CDs and some homemade artwork, including I think that's Star Raiders right there, and some cool stuff that he put on the back here as well. I'm a big fan of Ferg and what he does over there, and I just decided to pass this on to somebody else since I'm already a fan. You don't need to win me over. That's the man right there, intently looking at his Atari 2600 collection. Don't mess with the Ferg. Okay, how about a George Harrison 33 and a third 8-track? That's like 33 and thirds, like a record reference. So that'd be like making a CD called the George Harrison cassette tape CD. So very interesting there. Don't have an 8-track player. Never did. I never even played an 8-track. Bill Cosby. Dad is great. Gave us the chocolate cake. A little book by Bill Cosby called Times Flies. Yeah, I have enough books right now, so I don't need to go any further behind. Little catalog. It's just a ton of stuff in here, isn't there? Of Candyland and other board games from a bygone era. Kind of cool to flip through. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! And you can too if you have this $3 from Big Lots DVD. It's a little documentary of the 1980 U.S. hockey team. I already own Miracle on Blu-ray. It's actually one of my favorite sport movies. It was one of the first Blu-rays I bought. I don't have a lot of Blu-rays, but I bought this one. So I have my fill of the 1980s hockey team. I don't need another DVD, but might be interesting to somebody. How about some empty wax packs covers of Star Wars cards? There's another one. Here's an Alfred Hitchcock and the 3 investigators in the mystery of Moaning Cave. So yeah, I kind of like some of the Alfred Hitchcock movies and shows and stuff, but again, I have enough reading material right now. Battlestar Galactica. Just the wrappers. Another VHS tape, The Prisoner. which I think was some sort of TV show or something. I'm not real familiar with it, but this was quite the fancy case. Takes up quite a bit of space there. Garfield toy that's also a magnifying glass. How about some 8-bit sunglasses? This is an interesting device. It's called Monster Brain. It's for the Game Boy Color, I believe. And what it was basically like a Game Genie exclusively for the Pokemon series, like Pokemon Crystal and stuff like that, to help you catch all the monsters and do various kind of glitches on it, and maybe even get monsters that you didn't have. Not a big Pokemon fan, so I don't need to catch them all. See what I did there? Catch them all. A Star Wars little, it's hard to see, but it's like a cell from the movie. Not a real cell, just like a repro. Scooby-Doo toy. Told you there's a lot of stuff in here. Don't wear bracelets. I thought these were kind of cool. They're Rebel Alliance, and I believe this is the Galactic Empire. Those silicone bracelets that are all the cool kids have today. This was interesting. This was a Rocketeer candy dispenser. I know for two reasons. One, it says candy on the sticker there. And two, if you look inside, there's still some old candy stuck inside. I dare you to eat it. Actually, I don't. I don't want to get sued because you get sick. Power Ranger. Green Thing. Penguin. Shrunken Head. Here's a couple magnets from Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it's one of the later movies, but yeah. Old candy, anybody? Sour smog balls. Here's an interesting thing. Right on the tip of the tongue, little notebook, and you're supposed to write on the tip of the tongue of this notebook. And a Starscream stamp, and I actually did this a couple times on a napkin, and it actually has a little ink left in it. You could actually add some more ink and do this, but it's just a jet stamp, and it says Starscream. Like Transformer stuff, but I really don't need this guy. Who wants to be in the Cub Scouts? Now you can. Alright, here's an old Jar Binks figure. Very interesting. He holds up his arms and he sticks his tongue out. Very kind of bizarre. Alright, if you ruined the Star Wars prequels, raise your hand. Okay, Jar Jar, you can stop. I know you don't have to stick your tongue out. So yeah, very bizarre there. If I kept him, it would just be to destroy him in some maniac fashion. Got some games. How about Motocross for the 32X, which I already have. This one's pretty beat up. Another one from Willie, because it says so, is a Donkey Kong on the ColecoVision. Don't have a ColecoVision yet, but I would like to get one someday. Game I already have, and reviewed Pole Position 2 for your Atari 7800 Pro system. It looks like this one likes its coffee a little too much. Another game I think I already have, Miss Pac-Man, also on the 7800, which is supposed to be a good version. I'll review it soon someday. Another package of candy. And this little doodah. So how to build games. So, yep, there you go. That's the stuff I passed on in the Retro Junk Box. Hang on a second. I'll be right back with the stuff I put in. Okay, guys, I am back, and now I'm going to show you the stuff I'm going to put into the Retro Junk Box, assuming I can fit it all. I think so. I did a rough estimate, but there is a possibility I might have to take out one or two smaller items to fit this stuff in. If so, I'll put a note in the video so you know, but otherwise, assume I fit it all in. It came pretty stuffed when it came to me, but I'm going to make it extra stuffed when I send it out. Okay, one of the first things I'm going to put in is a Cracked magazine. Cracked was basically an alternative to Mad Magazine, so very similar in style there. This one's from 1986 and in pretty good condition for a 1986 magazine. All right, let's see what else we got. How about a Sega Genesis poster? These posters were included with some games and also like systems and accessories. If you fold it out completely, you can see this kind of image there with Michael Jackson and Golden Axe and other people as well. Shows some different games. It does have some wear and tear on it, some rips here and there, but it's still kind of cool to look through and see all the old games that came out during this time. One of the earlier poster. And don't forget your Sega Visions magazine. All right, I'm also going to put in this Crayola Collector's tin. Now, I got this a long time ago. This is from 1990 originally. I was the original owner. Inside it had a 64 pack of crayons that I decided to finally open up when I had kids. You can actually see some of the marks of crayons they put on. Might be able to clean those off if somebody wants to. But inside they used the 64 pack and a unique other pack of crayons. So I'm going to give someone this tin who wants it. Inside they gave this collector's colors. These were a limited edition, 8 colors that they retired. So you see all these like maize and raw umber, and the crayons are still in there. I don't know how good they are. They look pretty good actually for crayons that are quite a bit old. So there you go. Not quite 25-year-old crayons, but they are rather old. So I'm going to leave that in the tin. Some other stuff in the tin includes a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Game Gear game. I already took one Game Gear game out, so I thought I'd put another one in. This is from the Trivial Pursuit pop culture game. Some game pieces. You got a awesome mixtape and a old-fashioned cell phone. Someone might like that for their desk or something. Some G.I. Joe stuff. Invasion of the Giant Cobras, the Shrinking Joes. What this is when you would buy a G.I. Joe vehicle, sometimes you would get this little pamphlet that had characters that were no longer on the store shelves. And if you send in flag points, which were their proofs of purchase and a little bit of money, they'd send you this stuff that you can no longer buy. I really wish I could send some of this stuff in today. That'd be really cool. Here's another one, same thing, just a smaller version. I think this one would come packaged with actual figures. Speaking of G.I. Joe, this is a catalog that came with the vehicles that showed you a checklist of everything that was available during that run. So you have some vehicles and characters and stuff. This one does have some rips in it, but it's still cool to look at. How about some Sanford & Son? Disc 3 from the UMD version. That's for the PlayStation Portable. Somehow I got just Disc 3 in a lot. It was sold in a 3-disc set. It was the whole first season. But if someone wants to see some Sanford & Son, just a few episodes, they can have Disc 3. It's all theirs. Not really sure what this was. X-Robot. I think this was like a Transformer ripoff I used to have. It's just a piece of cardboard, but maybe someone will like it. How about an Incredible Hulk? I don't know if it's a sew-on or iron-on thing, but it's been hanging around me for a while. Now I'm going to pass it on. That's pretty cool, pretty retro. Some lung cancer stamps. They used to send these stamps out at Christmas time. These are from 1981. I don't know where I got this from. Jamie Summers, which I think is the Bionic Woman. It's a top secret folder. I think it came from a toy set, and somehow I got just that one. A Big Dog sticker. You remember Big Dog wear. How about a couple loose Masters of the Universe puffy stickers? Got Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, and an axe. Eat 'em Up USA. This is a bumper sticker, I think for the 1984 Olympics. I'm not sure, maybe the 88 ones, but yep. Oceans Pacific Winter Surf sticker. I used to wear Ocean Pacific because I was cool. From Campbell's Juice Works, here's a little patch to put on the back of your costume for safety because it's orange and reflective. The cover on this is beat up, but the inside is not. This is a Sector comic book that they gave away at Toys R Us at some time. I think I See Robots likes this. Brought to you by Coleco, the kinetic leather company, who also brought you Coleco Visions. How about a weekly reader little pamphlet where you had some stamps and you could use them to enter a club. Got the California Raisins board game. It was a little fold-out thing. The other side is a California Raisins poster. It's been hanging around me for a while. Got some game pieces. It's missing, I think that was just a dice, so you could just use another dice. And I'm not sure what this is for, but it came with it too. Someone might want it just for the poster. And some Popeye comics that came from Quaker Oats. Little mini comics. So let's put this stuff back in the Crayola box for now. And let's see what else I'm going to put in. So yeah, this box is going to be jam-packed full of stuff. Hopefully I can fit everything in. All right. Well, it's not a junk box without some licensed junk from the Licensed Junk Network, LJN. X-Men, which I already reviewed, considered one of the worst games in Nintendo history. So I'll pass on that pleasure to somebody else. I even was nice enough to put in a sleeve when the third-party sleeves came. They were just black. I think the Nintendo one said Nintendo. So you get a Nintendo game. Took a Nintendo game, left a Nintendo game. This is something I reviewed back quite a few episodes ago. I had a pair of these. I'm going to give one in the box. It's a nice Miss Piggy Muppet Caper glass. Very sharp, from McDonald's. This one's in excellent condition. The color's really good on this one. So I'm going to put this one in a box within the box to help protect it. All right, took a comic book and some magazines, so let's add some more. How about a Star Trek comic with Harry Mudd coming back? If anyone knows Star Trek, they probably are familiar with the Harry Mudd episode. And he also appeared in the animated series as well. He was kind of a returning figure as far as the old crew goes. Oh, look, I got a flag point, so someone can send in for one of those things on the G.I. Joe stuff. So there's your G.I. Joe flag point. Here's an X-Men Alpha comic, #1, that I got from the Retro Junk Box the first time around. Nice and shiny cover. Sharp art. If someone's nostalgic for the 90s, they might like this Fan magazine, Overstreet Fan. It was like a combination comic book price guide, and it also covered other stuff like this article's covering some toys from the era as well. And there's other ones on like music and movies. And then in the back is a bunch of comic book price guides. You can see what the price guides, the comic book values were back during that time, and just lots of full color pictures. So kind of a nice travel through time there. I'm also going to include the Star Trek The Next Generation. It's a paint with water set, and it's unused. What it is you have these colors that I guess you just put a wet paintbrush on. It's supposed to take the paint off this area, and you can just paint the pictures below. There you go, #1. Good shot. Oh, there's someone behind you. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. And look at that. They even put, they left the backs open so it wouldn't bleed over to something else. Oh, I need an Excedrin. Please help me. All right. And the last thing I'm going to put in is Action Force magazine comic, which was basically G.I. Joe across the pond over in Europe. They didn't call him G.I. Joe. They called him Action Force, but it was the same kind of deal. And this is just a large size comic book with some cool stuff in it. And on the back is Thundercats. Little ad for some Thundercat snack. Thundercats, ho! You could get a free set of Thundercats glitter stickers. That would be cool to have too. So yeah, that's about it. I think my wife also took a sheet of Peanut stickers, Charlie Brown stickers that she's going to use for her classroom. She's a teacher, so she wanted to use those. So that's another thing that took out, but I can't find those right now. But oh well. So there you go. That is everything Retro Junk Box now. So very cool. Again, thank you IC Robots for including me. Go check them out at icrobots.com. Go check out the Retroist at theretroist.com. Don't forget, if you like retro videos like this one, as well as retro video games, subscribe to my channel. Just click that subscribe button at the bottom there and go ahead and click the like button. And you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter as well. Just go to either one, search for The No Swear Gamer. So anyways, thank you for giving me a little part of your day. And I look forward to seeing all of you next time on my next episode of The No Swear Gamer. Take care, everybody.